A very good afternoon to you. I beg your pardon. Thank you so much for creating time for us. We are so excited that you chose KBC Channel 1 to catch the latest in Kenya and beyond borders. 25 days into the month of January, the year 2021, and KBC Lunchtime News begins right now on a day when concern is being raised about the unrest in schools, and also we'll be telling you what stakeholders have to say with the recent cases of assault as students turned against their teachers in some schools across the country, plus much more that we have contained in our comprehensive news bulletin that begins right now. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma, and our sign language interpreter is Simon Karodha. Now, Chemasisi Boys High School has been shut down indefinitely after students went on a rampage protesting the reduction of timings for entertainment to 2 hours from the previous 4 hours. Separately, property of unknown value was destroyed following a suspected arson attack in Kiambere Mixed Secondary School. Have a look. This is what was left behind after a fire razed down a dormitory that houses 47 students in Kiambere Mixed Secondary School. The school's Board of Management Chairman James Moneki, condemning the incident, termed it an arson attack, saying those behind the torching of the institution will face the law.
So actually nothing has been salvaged, and the dormitory is completely destroyed inside, although the outside looks okay.
Mambo ya kuchoma shule ni mambo ambayo inataka kulaaniwa na kukemewa na kila mtu. Watoto waambiwe, hiyo si suluhu.
In the meantime, Chesamisi Boys High School students went on the rampage, accusing the school's principal of high-handedness. The students are protesting the decision to change the entertainment schedule from 5 to 10 p.m. to 2 to 4 p.m. The institution was shut down by the Sub-County Education Director, George Okoth, until further notice.
But unfortunately, we will not lay our hands on any tangible reason. Maybe when we do the thorough investigation, we'll get to know the reason why this kind of destruction had to take place. I'm yet to get a report of any injury.
Na vile nimekuja asubuhi, vile nimesikia nikaingia katika shule, ile damages ambazo nimeona katika shule ni damages kubwa sana na ni mbaya zaidi. Zinahuzunisha, hazifurahishi mzazi yote ambaye analipa school fees.
And students of Kituro High School and Timboroa Boys High School in Baringo are counting losses after a fire razed down their dormitories on Sunday evening. The fire, which started at around 9 p.m. at Kituro High School when students were in class for evening preps, destroyed beddings, uniforms and boxes belonging to the students. Nearly 100 students were left without essential goods following the inferno. Baringo County Commissioner Henry Wafula says investigations into the cause of the fire at the two institutions are ongoing.
The day before yesterday, last night, we had a case in Kituro. I've already dispatched my education officials to touch base with my administrators, my DCs and everybody to go and find out, and the police to go and investigate on what's going on.
Beatrice Getonyingetich, Channel 1 News. And away from that, Changamwe Member of Parliament Omar Mwinyi is decrying an increase in the use of miraa by school-going children. The legislator is now calling on Mombasa County government to regulate the rampant sale, handling and consumption of the twig to protect teens.
Drug abuse remains a major challenge in the coastal region. Changamwe MP Omar Mwinyi disbursing bursary funds worth 6.2 million shillings to needy students in the constituency is raising an alert on the increase in use of a stimulant properly known as muguka among learners.
Tunapoteza vijana wetu ambao ndio tegemeo la hili taifa na ulimwengu pia vile vile. Wacha tegemeo lako wewe. Na ubaya, sisi wazazi, we have actually given up. Na unajua watoto wetu fikra zao ziko namna gani? anaomba amalize skuli lini, yeye naye akale mogoka na nini na marungi, kwa sababu anaambiwa wewe kwenda wewe wasoma skuli ondoka.
He is calling on the county government to ban the sale and use of the stimulant within the county.
Ikiwa hata serikali yetu ya county government, for example, haiwezi kuliona tatizo hili kuwa ni tatizo sugu, wakakaa na wazazi hawa wakaona hili jambo jameni, hapana, lazima mtu akitaka kula miraa labda aende Marekani huko ale huko, alafu jioni ndio arudi hapa.
Mwinyi is also calling for collaboration between the parents and the county government to come up with a mechanism on how to address the rampant consumption of miraa by school-going children and how to eradicate the vice. In the meantime, a school has been set up in Laikipia North along the Rumuruti-Maralal Road. Learners at Naibo Amani Primary School are not required to wear a school uniform to reduce the cost of enrolling in school in a campaign aimed at encouraging families to send their children to school.
And still focusing on matters education, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers now wants the Teacher Service Commission to transfer teachers who have fallen victim to assault by students. KUPPET Laikipia Branch Executive Secretary Robert Miano alleges that if the transfers are not effected, then the teachers would be subjected to further victimization and stigmatization. As schools reopened after the long break occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic, cases of students turning against their teachers have been on the rise. Last week, a Form 3 student at Murishu Secondary School in Daragwa allegedly assaulted his teacher for scolding him after he jumped the queue while his colleagues were being served lunch. The incident came just a few days after another Form 3 student at the Kisii High School was arrested after he stabbed 2 teachers after he was questioned for lateness. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers is now raising concern over the worrying trend and want the Teacher Service Commission to transfer teachers who have fallen victim to such assaults.
Students attacking teachers in this country, it is becoming the order of the day. The other day it was in Kisii, where a teacher was attacked using a panga. And now here in Nyahururu, Miricho Secondary, mwalimu amechapwa na mwanafunzi. We want to condemn that act, and we want to ask the Ministry of Education to come heavily on this matter.
Laikipia Branch Executive Secretary Robert Miano, in raising fears of victimization, said teachers must be protected from further abuse.
When a teacher is attacked by a student, you know, now the issue is very humiliating. You are not able to stand before those students again.
Miano, at the same time, called on the Ministry of Education to roll out a psychosocial support program for students in a bid to inculcate good morals and counter unrest.
We want to ask the Ministry of Education to come up with a program to offer guidance and counseling to our students, those who are suffering psychologically, those who have been involved in drugs, to be counseled and to be guided, and also our parents to take charge of their students, to take an active role in our education.
Some good news. 180,000 girls across the country are set to receive sanitary towels in a move to reduce absenteeism among girls during their menstrual cycle. The initiative, spearheaded by the Ministry of Education, will see over 500,000 sanitary towels dispatched to needy girls.
Monday morning in Nairobi, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha would dispatch a consignment of 540,000 packets of sanitary towels to 180,000 girls from disadvantaged backgrounds across the country. Magoha loading the donation of the sanitary towels by a mobile money transfer company, saying the initiative will ensure improved hygiene, reduce absenteeism, and enhance retention of girls in schools.
Certain that this donation will contribute to improved performance of girls in education, as they will ensure pride and dignity is raised. Use of sanitary towels will ensure there is reduced absenteeism and therefore enhanced retention and transition of the girl child.
Magoha at the same time called on well-wishers to partner with the government to ensure all KCSE candidates attending public secondary schools have access to sanitary towels.
Once again, to partner with you and for you to help us to ensure that all girls in secondary school who are taking exams in public schools have sanitary towels.
The mobile money transfer company says in addition to donation of sanitary towels, they are also working on a mentorship program for adolescent boys.
So the program that we have been running at the moment not only is providing sanitary towels for girls, but it is also providing mentorship for adolescent boys as well, for them to understand the issue that their colleagues at school do go through.
Reporting for Channel 1 News, I'm Jackie Wambiru.
Thank you, Jackie Wambiru, for that report. Allow us now to take a very short break right here on KBC Lunchtime News. We still have more from the political arena to world news to business news and what is trending in the world of sports. Do stay with us for that.
Weekend ni double. Weekend ni double kutoka QuickBet. Double. Ndio hiyo sasa. Tunakuongezea fridge.
Bado kwenye bei ya chini kwa chini. Hiyo fridge inakungoja wewe mahali ulipo. Hiyo fridge ni aina unique zaidi.
Jiunga na QuickBid ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bid yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bid yako pia kwenye www.quickbid.co.ke. Kumbuka, bid ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBid, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Welcome back, and please continue interacting with us on social media at KBC Channel 1, and also interact with me directly at Serfine_Achieng on Twitter and Serfine Achieng on Facebook. We are streaming this broadcast for you live on our YouTube platform as well, so you can also follow us on that particular platform. Now, moving on to political matters, a section of politicians allied to the Deputy President William Ruto has accused the government of weaponizing investigative agencies against the dissenting voices in the country, led by nominated Senator Isaac Mwaura. The leaders urged that the war on graft should not be used to settle political scores. The calls coming just days after the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission launched investigations into dealings between a law firm associated with the Senate Majority Whip Irungu Kang'ata and the Nairobi City County Government.
Last week, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, in a letter to Nairobi County Secretary, requested case files for matters handled by Murang'a Senator Irungu Kang'ata's law firm, along with 24 other firms, for the period between 2013 and 2020. The agency stated that the basis of the probe was a review of the legal fees paid by the county to the firms for the last 7 years. The investigations coming days after the senator wrote a letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta over the progress of the Building Bridges initiative in Mount Kenya region.
Naona hii kesi ya Mheshimiwa Kang'ata, rafiki yangu na rafiki yetu pamoja na Dedi. Tumeona ukiangalia magazeti ya leo, yeye sasa amepelekwa kule kwa EACC. Tunasema hapana, tusitumie vyombo vyetu vya umma kufanya mambo ya siasa. Kama ni kupigana na ufisadi, tupigane na ufisadi, lakini sio wakati ukionekana kama una maoni tofauti, unatumiwa watu hivi, unaambiwa hivi, unatolewa hapa, unafanywa hivyo. Tusonge mbele, kwa sababu kuna wale ambao tuliwakaribisha katika handshake, lakini wanasukuma watu wote wa Jubilee nje.
Speaking at PCEA Githurai branch in Roiro, the legislators claimed that the government is using security and investigative agencies to intimidate leaders.
Vile salamu ilisalimiwa kule Nairobi, I was one of the first people to say, hapa mimi naona danger. Na sasa tumeanza kuona the same brother mwenye alikuja akasalimia rais wetu, sasa yeye pia anaanza kusema that Jubilee government is a failure. If you are afraid of a person, afraid indeed is afraid. Afraid in need is afraid indeed. Kwa hivyo huwezi kuwa rafiki wa rais wetu wakati ni maneno ya BBI inaongelewa, lakini sasa unatukumbusha ile stadium haijajengwa na ile kazi ingine.
The lawmakers called for the respect of the rule of law and the creation of a wider democratic space in the country. Kevin Washira, Lunchtime News.
Now, for some tragic incident in Migori County, one person has died while several others have escaped unhurt following the collapse of a mine in Nyatike, Migori County. The tragedy is said to have been triggered by mining activities on a site which had been previously shut for restoration.
The latest incident comes barely a month after a section of miners in Migori County held protests over massive exploitation by investors and unfavorable working conditions.
The recently claimed place where the Chinese and the cartels have invaded has now claimed a life today. One of us is gone. It's called Ojuang. He has died from the bad work this guy is doing. A year back, we lost 6 from the same kind of guy who is doing this illicit kind of mining. So it's painful, and we don't know where to go.
What has happened to our brother? Because last time when we demonstrated here, many of us here were told that they are doing what they don't know. And it's very sad because last time we told you that the other place is the same place this same guy did his work. And that is the place that claimed 6 lives. And we are very sorry for that. Now it's the same person is coming to work in this place and disobeying the court orders which were given to him. And still our people are being lost here. It's very sad.
Local miners claim that foreigners who have been hired to oversee land restoration have defied court orders by choosing to engage in illegal mining.
The court order specified that a restoration to be done. But it's now not, like we said last time, these people are not doing restoration. Let the government take charge and stop all this happening. Let it talk first and then the constitution to prevail. We have the part of the constitution which entails the safety in mining conditions.
Nyatike Member of Parliament Tom Odege says there is need to find long-lasting solutions to perennial problems facing small-scale miners in the area.
we need to have all leaders to sit together and we agree on the approach, because we cannot say we want to stop people and people are seeing the livelihood in that mining area. Even if you stop them during the day, they'll go at night.
Now, on to something you must know. Kenyans have been advised to go for regular eye checkups to reduce chances of developing full-blown glaucoma. Carlos Obeto, an optometrist, says those with partial blindness or those who have lost their eyesight may have failed to seek early information on things that could negatively affect their sight.
Obeto noted that glaucoma was among the common eye problems, saying in some instances it can be inherited. He singled out glaucoma as the leading cause of irreversible blindness for people aged above 35 around the world.
We have 7.5 million of people that need interventions to prevent loss of visions and also restore their vision or need rehabilitation to improve their performances. So in total we have we can have about 28% of habitants in Kenya who are suffering from eye issues.
Glaucoma is a condition that results from buildup of high pressure inside the eye. Experts say at least 38% of the Kenyan population has vision problems, while 0.7% of all rural Kenyans is blind.
About 500 million people in Africa have issues with their eyes, but only 1% of those people have glasses. So 550 million people in Africa have refractive errors, but about 1% of them have glasses.
According to a UN health survey, it is estimated that the number of people suffering from glaucoma is likely to grow in the next few years from the current 60.5 million to 79.5 million.
Now, crossing the borders, Chinese and Indian troops have reportedly clashed again in a border area with injuries on both sides. The incident reportedly took place in North Sikkim last Wednesday. India's army said there had been a minor incident that had been resolved. Tensions are high along the world's longest disputed border, with both sides claiming large areas of the territory.
Tension is high along the world's longest disputed border after a Chinese patrol tried to enter Indian territory and was forced back. Since the deadly hand-to-hand fighting, the two sides have held de-escalation talks, the latest being between military commanders on Sunday. The incident took place in North Sikkim last Wednesday, where both sides claim large areas of territory. Elsewhere, Russia has accused Western countries of encouraging rallies in support of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Navalny called for protests after he was arrested on his return to Russia a week ago. Demonstrations were held on Saturday in about 100 cities and towns from Russia's Far East and Siberia to Moscow and St. Petersburg. Meanwhile, the Central African Republic has declared a state of emergency as armed groups try to lay siege on the capital, Bangui. The state of emergency will last for 15 days and allow the authorities to detain suspects without the authorization of prosecutors. Rebel factions now control most of the country and are calling for the resignation of President Faustin Tudera, the winner of December's election. The latest news comes even as the International Criminal Court says the Central African Republic has handed over a former rebel commander accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Muhammad Said Abdel Khani is accused of offenses dating back to 2013. The ICC says Said's forces allegedly carried out systematic attacks against civilians and no date has been set for his court appearance. For Channel 1 News, I'm Jacqueline Masharia.
Weekendi ni double. Weekendi ni double kutoka Quickbet. Double? Ndio hiyo sasa. Tunakuongezea fridge.
Bado kwenye bei ya chini kwa chini.
Hiyo
fridge inakungoja wewe mahali ulipo. Hiyo fridge ni aina unique zaidi.
Jiunga na Quickbit ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbit.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. Quickbit, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Ulichukulia kwa mfano ndani ya matatu.
Unajua Saturday yaandikangu hivyo.
Ni nini wewe?
Yaani mtu mzima na miaka zake hizo miaka zote. Mtu ajui kujua kuandika note. Note tu peke yake. Kusoma kweli inasaidia.
Kijana, nini nakusumbua na mimi?
Nauliza ni ungwana.
Don't you dare insult me, okay?
Mama Angel.
Don't you dare. Oh, please.
Let the dead bury.
They are dead, right?
And it's now time for us to focus on what is happening in the world of business. We begin in Meru County, where farmers of Buri constituency in that county are appealing to the national government through the Ministry of Agriculture to provide planes for aerial fumigation following a locust invasion. They are concerned that the presence of desert locust will result in massive losses.
The swarms from Ethiopia and Somalia are being pushed into Kenya due to a change in the wind direction. The destructive insects invaded farms in Meru County last week, raising a food security concern.
Sisi tunaangamia. Nyasi ya ng'ombe hakuna. Chakula hakuna, imeisha. Kuna chakula. Imekula yote. Sasa tutafanya nini?
The farmers' efforts to arrest the destruction on their crops proved futile owing to their airborne nature.
Hapo jana tukashinda hapa tu kufukuzana nazo kwa hii shamba na kwa hii mashamba ya majirani, na tukaonelea hatungeweza mpaka hata watoto wa shule walitoka, wakiwa wanatoka shule wakakuta tunakimbishana nazo. Tukajaribu kuzipigia kelele na hao watoto, lakini unaona zinainuka, zinapanda juu, zinazunguka alafu zinarudi pale pale.
The farmers are now appealing to the national government to intervene by providing planes for aerial fumigation in order to help avert the looming crisis.
Tunalilia serikali itusaidie na ndege ikuje inyunyizie hizo nzige, sababu huku kwetu kuko na mashamba kubwa na kuna miiba mingi. Hatuwezi kufukuza vizuri sababu ya miiba.
Kenya has set 8 bases in Rift Valley, northern Kenya and the coast to control the invasive pest.
And cybersecurity consulting firm Serfine has teamed up with Global Cyber Alliance, targeting the local private and public sector cybersecurity risk management space owing to the increase in cyber threats. The partnership aims at providing companies access to better cyber risk management. Alan Aoko has the details.
According to cybersecurity research, between 2015 and 2020, the cost of cybercrime in Africa rose from an estimated $500 million to $3 billion as attackers expanded their scope from the financial sector to manufacturing, government, and individual mobile devices. However, firms are yet to adequately invest in cybersecurity management tools. To this end, stakeholders in the cybersecurity space are teaming up to safeguard the sector. In a statement, Serianu's head of product strategy and partnership development, Brensil Kaimba, explained that the partnership between the firm and GCA will enable institutions to reduce the impact of cybersecurity attacks by leveraging on the combined research and tools that will enable proactive defense of intrusions into systems. The firms also hope to target opportunities among SMEs, especially on topics related to email security and DNS security. Alan Auko, Channel 1 Business.
And the Wayu community is banking on the findings of the 2019 census report and subsequent recognition as an ethnic community in Kenya to bridge the marginalization gap. According to the national chair, Dr. Chris Galgalo, the recognition came at a time when the Wayu are trying to preserve their fast eroding dialect and customs and would give impetus to pass on their knowledge to their young ones.
In modern-day Kenya, the Wayu are found in 9 counties: Kilifi, Kwale, Garissa, Taita Taveta, Isiolo, Tana River, Lamu, Mandera, and Marsabit. However, little is known of the Wayu, who believe they are the firstborns of God.
When I heard first about the Wayu history, I heard Wayu and God together. Another person was present. He was the first person created by the Almighty God.
Having migrated to different parts of the country and intermarried with other larger communities, the Wayu lost their identity, and only a handful can speak the native Wayu dialect. Wayu have 5 distinct hunting groups located in different locations, including Ethiopia. These 5 years have different cultural ritual sites and well-organized cultural leadership hierarchy that is headed by Hayu, an equivalent of king.
Hayu is in terms of ratio and settling and concerned about poverty and what have you. Mine is, and he is specifically in certain region, Hayu. He can't rule in Marsabit. This Hayu, we have 4 structures. There is Hayu, and there is Makal, there is Jalab, and there is Kai. Kai. Q-A-E. Kai. So, all these, Hayu is the senior-most. But above Hayu, we have Abagada. On top, Abagada. Abagada rules over everybody. All where Wayus are. Whether I'm in Kenya, whether I'm in Ethiopia, so Abagada rules all over. So the final authority about the community is Abagada of Wayu, which is in Ethiopia.
He is a symbol of authority and is appointed by the emperor in Ethiopia, where the community has its roots. Unlike other communities, the Wayu traditional songs are in praise of the game they used to hunt. For instance, the elephant, praising the elephant for its trumpet, strength, size, and majestic walk, while songs sung to praise the giraffe's ubruso are in appreciation of its beauty, grace, milk, skin, and meat.
We shall create our own store or gallery where we can restore these artifacts. Then secondly is these songs of praising and what have you about the community, we have to teach our children. So they must know how to do this.
As unique as they may be, the Wayu are staring at extinction due to intermarriage and marginalization.
Some people do understand what they are talking. Those people above 70 or above 60 something, they can understand. But and the people who came recently from Ethiopia side, they can easily understand. So the uniqueness is about the language. The language. Although, even within this language, there are some similarities as a language group of Kushite. So it is some areas of borrowing.
In bid to remedy this, elders have begun educating the young in the community on their culture, language and traditions.
Mimi ni Wayu lakini babangu ndiye anajua, mimi sijui. Kitu imenipendeza vile wana dress, vile wako na hizo manguo zao ya traditional, kuimba, zote zimenifurahisha.
Wayu Education and Development Program. The purpose of this is, one of its objectives is cultural heritage preservation. Those artifacts, the gourd, the frying pan, where you got the coffee berry, fried and all these artifacts, plus those skins they are dancing with. So we want to preserve all this.
Going forward, they are optimistic that the inclusion and recognition in the 2019 census report as one of Kenya's ethnic communities, they can save their fading culture and push for inclusion.
We are also looking forward for our unity of our community in Ethiopia and in Kenya as well, where we have cultural sharing, ideas, governance, and unity of purpose with our community in Ethiopia, so that we have to preserve our culture like any other community in this country.
The Wayu now join ranks with the El Molo, Ogiek, Sengwer, Ilchamus, Nubians and the Sakweri, who are least in population and are considered marginalized ethnic communities in Kenya. 046 is a code given to the Wayu community by the state. Regina Manyara reporting for Channel 1.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Kukupenda na buda acha ufala. Ni nini bana? Sasa tebu nikuulize, kwani barabara ni yako unakuja tu kuna kanyaga kila mtu?
Ndizi kitu gani msichana? Umeona karibu nianguke.
Nisikule ndizi, kwa hivyo nisikule ndizi.
Ningevunjika mguu.
Wewe pia ungekuwa unaangalia kwenye unatembea.
Naangalia
ungeanguka.
Wewe cheki, hebu ndio side mirror. Madam, ndio side mirror.
Ni nini mbaya na wewe?
Ni nini wewe?
Huwezi endesha gari polepole.
Kishikwa na makara utadai.
Huo ni ungwana kweli? Nauliza, tabia kama hizo kwa wasafiri ni ungwana?
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, greetings, Massive and crew. Welcome to the Big Bad Show. This is The Rave.
Where radio meets TV each and every Wednesday.
Live on KBC Channel 1 and KBC Radio Taifa. Yazimi?
Listen to my radio. Here's some tune that's
This is where we play with the latest and the greatest, from homegrown artists to international reggae stars.
Checking the rave with Junior Dread and DJ Stano.
Every Wednesday from 10 p.m.
If you blink, you miss the link.
If you ain't going my way.
Next on.
Nazo njia ambazo zinatumika kuimarisha hulka nzuri katika wanawake kwenye mujtama. Njia hizi ni zipi?
Mwanamke huyu lazima awe amepambwa na pambo la nini? La dini. Lazima mwanamke amchi Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Ya habibi salamullah alayka fi fuadi wallahi laysa siwaka kasal mararati fi sinin al-ghurba.
بتفرج على الحياة زي مسرح فيه جمهور.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Welcome back, and we appreciate those of you who are interacting with us on social media. Mutua Kioko from Machakos, we appreciate you creating time for us. Nancy Cheptais, thank you so much also for creating time for us from Nandi County. Mukami from right here in Nairobi, I appreciate you. And of course also Jackson Ntulele, you commenting on the story by Regina Manyara about the Wayu community. Interesting indeed. You say that you didn't even know that community exists. And we appreciate you also creating time for us. Now, moving on into elsewhere across the African continent, Matters Business, BP, a veteran oil engineer, is cutting some 10,000 jobs, around 15% of its workforce, under the Lunis restructuring, the most aggressive among Europe's oil giants, including Royal Dutch Shell and Total. Details of this and other stories from across the continent.
Every hour, thousands of barrels of oil were leaking into the Atlantic Ocean. The explosion had already killed 11 men, but its real
The 50-year-old veteran oil engineer who previously headed the oil and gas exploration and production division aims to cut output by 1 million barrels per day, or 40% over the next decade, while growing renewable energy output 20-fold. The change marks the end of an era for exploration teams from Moscow and Houston to BP's research headquarters in Sunbury near London, with farewell gatherings held on Zoom in recent months. Despite the changes, oil and gas will remain BP's main source of revenue until at least 2030. Nigeria's brewery industry is counting losses due to decreased consumption induced by COVID-19 pandemic and recession. The recession has caused the bottom line of industry's listed equities to remain subdued in 2021. Also, smuggling of drinks and imports in the country have reduced the profitability of the industry. The challenges of the industry started with tough physical regulations, including the June 2018 excise duty burden on beers, wines, and spirits, as well as the new VAT rate of 7.5%. Finally, Indonesia says its Coast Guard seized an Iranian-flagged empty horse and a Panamanian-flagged empty Freya vessels over suspected illegal oil transfer in the country's waters on Sunday. According to Coast Guard spokesperson Wisnu Pramandita, the ships were caught red-handed transferring oil from Empty Horse to Empty Freya when they were discovered by authorities, and there was an oil spill around the receiving tanker. Wisnu told Reuters that 61 crew members from both vessels have been detained. The International Maritime Organization requires vessels to use transponders for safety and transparency. Crews can turn off the devices if there is danger of piracy or similar hazards, but transponders are often shut down to conceal a ship's location during illicit activities.
And a former senior manager at Boeing 737 plant in Seattle is raising new concerns over the safety of the company's 737 MAX aircraft model. This comes in the wake of resumption of flights in North America and Brazil after clearance following 2 accidents in which 346 people died. Here is details of this and other stories from across the globe.
In a new report, Ed Pearson claims that further investigation of electrical issues and production quality problems at the 737 factory should be a prerequisite to the resumption of operations. However, regulators in the US and Europe insist their viewers have been thorough and that the 737 MAX aircraft is now safe. In his report, Pearson claims that regulators and investigators have largely ignored factors which he believes may have played a direct role in the accidents. Meanwhile, Barclaycard customers will see their minimum repayments rise from Tuesday at a time when finances are already stretched owing to COVID-19. The new requirements are tailored to each customer, although some may see a significant rise in demands. The charges will also see charges for exceeding a credit limit scrapped. Barclaycard signaled the changes to their pricing structures in November, although some borrowers may have missed the notice, which was titled Changes to Your Terms and Conditions. Finally, UK firms that export to the UE say they are being encouraged by the government to set up subsidiaries to the bloc to avoid disruption under new trade rules. Firms have been hit by extra charges, taxes, and paperwork, leading some to stop exporting to the EU altogether. The Department for International Trade said it was not government policy, amidst claims from section traders who say they have been encouraged to set up hubs in Europe to minimize the disruption.
And now on to some sporting action. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp responded to his side's FA Cup defeat by Manchester United last night by saying fans should not worry about them. The 3-2 loss to their fierce rivals meant that Liverpool have now won only one of their past 7 games. Liverpool has also fallen to 4th in the Premier League, 6 points behind leaders Manchester United.
They struggled to properly lay a glove on each other in the Premier League, but there has the captain's armband for Liverpool for this one. His 50th FA Cup appearance, a winner with Manchester City. Firmino, slide rule through to Salah, and Salah scores! That was Liverpool at their clinical best. Super pass. Here's Mason Greenwood, who's in, and he scored! What a ball in it was.
Arthur Melo scored his first goal for Serie A champions Juventus as they beat Bologna 2-0 to put pressure on the Milan teams. AC Milan led Serie A despite losing at home to Atalanta after second-placed Inter Milan drew at Udinese. Meanwhile, in Spain, João Felix and Luis Suarez combined as Atletico Madrid came from behind to beat Valencia 3-1 and continue with their pursuit of the La Liga title.
It's a warm welcome to coverage from Turin for the meeting of Juventus and Bologna in Serie A. Those Juve champions for the past 9 years in a row, but 10 points off the top as we approach the halfway point of the season. Scores his 4th goal for Juve.
Well, you're absolutely right about delivery. Whips in away from the goalkeeper.
Juve have the win. They've beaten Bologna by a 2-0 scoreline in Turin today.
Well, they've already beaten Real Madrid this season. A 4-1 victory for Valencia. Travel the continent. The next best to that is Paris Saint-Germain with 11 conceded. Distance for good reason. Rakic is going to take on the shot. It's a good one. It's a great one. What a goal! Outswingers from Koke and Lamar whipping it towards the far post. João Felix has the equaliser midway through the first half. João Felix on to Luis Suarez. Felix has continued his run. Luis Suarez, what a finish! Could not have placed it any better. He has a goal on his birthday. He can score it any day. And he's given Atletico the lead. For Llorente making the run. Luis Suarez has pulled back. So too has Correa, and he steers it home. Brilliantly done by Carrasco initially, and then Llorente calmly picking out the run of Correa at the near post. And a calm finish from the Argentine, and Atletico well on their way to another 3 points now.
And that's your sporting action. Thank you so much for creating time to catch the latest on KBC Lunchtime News. It's a wrap, but we're still working on quite a number of stories that are shaping the day for you. Interact with us on social media at KBC Channel 1. My name is Serfine Achieng Ouma, and Simon Karotha has been assisting us with the sign language interpretation. Have a lovely afternoon.
College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
Weekend ni double. Weekend ni double kutoka QuickBet. Double. Ndio hiyo sasa. Tunakuongezea fridge.
Bado kwenye bei ya chini kwa chini. Hiyo fridge inakungoja wewe mahali ulipo. Hiyo fridge ni aina unique zaidi.
Jiunga na QuickBit ni rahisi. Enda kwenye M-Pesa, bonyeza paybill kisha weka business number 4032353. Kwenye account weka kodi ya bidhaa unayotaka na bidi yako ya chini zaidi. Kwa mfano TV 16. Kisha weka shilingi 20 tu kama idadi yako. Weka bidi yako pia kwenye www.quickbit.co.ke. Kumbuka, bidi ya chini zaidi ya kipekee ndio hununua. QuickBit, bidhaa bora kwa bei ya chini.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Kukupenda na buda acha ufala. Ni nini bana Sasa hebu nikuulize, kwani barabara ni yako na kuja tu kuna kanyaga kila mtu?
Please, ni msichana. Umeona karibu nianguke. Nisikule ndizi, kwa hivyo nisikule ndizi. Ningevunjika mguu. Wewe pia ungekuwa unaangalia kwenye unatembea. Naangalia ungeanguka.
Wewe cheki, hebu ndio side mirror. Madam, ndio side mirror.
Ni nini mbaya na wewe?
Ni nini wewe?
Huwezi endesha gari polepole.
Niko na makara utadai.
Huo ni ungwana kweli? Nauliza tabia kama hizo kwa wasafiri